we continue to say, Governor Nyesom Wike, on your part, you need to tender an unreserved apology to the people of Edo State.
Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. Comrade Stanley Osaze Osakwonokpodi. They talk about Governor Wike visit to Edo State and how he takes sit down in front of Oba of Benin for Oba Palace. Make I leave you, make you hear from Comrade Stanley Osaze Osakwonokpodi.
Why so many Edo persons condemn the actions of Governor Nyesom Wike in respect to not recognizing the office of the executive governor of Edo State by entering into the state without going there to inform the office of the governor. I see that majority of persons condemned it in totality. But when it comes to the issue of the way he sat in the palace, a majority of persons who condemn wicked action in respect to not visiting the governor frowned as such, claiming that there was no violation whatsoever on our traditional institution. I, for one, I strongly believe that Usakwuno Kudin cannot be everybody. As it is sweet us. Now we want to sing that song now. You know that song who they sing that time? Now who they sing now? Hey, God, I beg you. Upgraded on what's up? Upgraded on woo woo. We'll soon call you, maybe you can go get a document and we'll soon fall out. Any moment by the power of God. But we don't want the talk and come at it when it reach hand. We don't go raise your high expectation. A great good morning to ever conscious Edo people worldwide. I remain my humble self, your noble right activist, Comrade Stanley Osakwonokpodi, the Coordinator General Edo Diaspora Connect Worldwide, the CEO Stanley Sadi Enterprise, in fact, the CEO of Woman Edo State. I want to say very good morning to you all, and I'm glad that today we all woke up again to see each other. Ordinarily, it is not our right uh, to wake up. It's because of the magnanimity of our ubiquitous God, who believes that we reserve the right whatsoever within Him, not from within us anyway, to wake up. And I think there is need for us to continue to praise and salute our ubiquitous God for giving us all this opportunity. Yes, I really wish to discuss in continuation on the issue that borders on the actions of the executive governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Barrister Ezenwo Nyesom Wike. And I also know that in the course of communication, you have the conceiving stage, you have the encoding stage, you have the medium of communication, you have the decoding stage, and you have the feedback stage. And if peradventure a good communicator refuse to put into cognizance these various factors, you also agree to the fact that such communicator is not communicating at all. The medium of your communication, the level of feedback you're going to get from the communication, it's very expedient for a good communicator to analyze, to see the right part to do. And I've also noticed that why so many Edo persons condemn the actions of Governor Nyesom Wike in respect to not recognizing the office of the executive governor of Edo State by entering into the state without going there to inform the office of the governor. I see that majority of persons condemned it in totality. But when it comes to the issue of the way he sat in the palace, a majority of persons who condemn wicked action in respect to not visiting the governor frowned as such, claiming that there was no violation whatsoever on our traditional institution. I, for one, I strongly believe that Usakunokudi cannot be everybody, and I cannot know more than everybody. So, in respect to that particular area, I think I have withdrawn my stance in respect to how we can sit, owing to the popular opinion and views of our esteemed personalities around the world. Our brothers and sisters who Usakunokudi holds in an inestimable value express their opinion, despite the fact that majority, slight majority as well, condemned the action of Winky in respect to how he sat in the palace. I think that should not be our focus again this time. And I've withdrew that particular views and opinion. But what we still stand for and still remains Governor Wiki faith in his action, and if Governor Wiki, according to what he's telling Nigerians, that is fine for the office of the president. But for those of us who are politicians, know that Wike is fine for the position of the vice president. And his action today is for him to hold the party hostage so as to negotiate with this current movement in order to get the slot of the vice president. So now, I withdrew from that issue. In fact, as far as we're concerned, we all love our father, we all love our institution. And since those of us who love the institution are saying, let us not just go to that area, I think I must not be sensible than everybody. I think I am not sensible than anybody, even if I think I know. There are some persons who started from where my own knowing stops. So for that, I'm withdrawing from that area. But I think Wiki's action in respect to not visiting the governor, it's not about making calls. I think the immunity that covers governor it covers all ramification of their activities. Even if you've made a call, even if you've not made a call, you can as well visit. When you must have made a call, oh, I'm in town, I'm not in town now, fine. But the idea of acting as if you want to subjugate the great people of Edo Nation into a colony established by the Rivers State, not Rivers people. I think though some of us will vehemently resist it, and that is why we continue to say, Governor Yenson Wike, on your part, you need to tender an unreserved apology to the people of Edo State. Don't mind those who are playing politics with the activities. Now, let us really go into it. What are we anchoring on this particular activity? Because there are some persons who said that is Governor Wike the problem of Edo State right now? No. But, in Benin language, and for those who I will say interpret in English, is I wanna Igbeya Waina. Who can knows what in Agbe or Mary now, uh, what you don't want others to do to you, do not do it to other person. And it's only a foolish man that will say, you are not beating me, you are beating my brother. But you fail to understand that if your brother is beaten out of the way, you don't have more defense to defend yourself. So while the attack is close to your brother's house, you should start the defense from there to prevent a situation where such invader crutches your brother at the end of the day, getting close to your own buffer zone. So because of that, I think we must, as a matter of urgency, vehemently condemn the action of Wike. And why must we do that? Now let me tell you, if you want to be factual in this context, you want to actually do the right thing. Let's tell ourselves the simple truth and nothing but the truth. As the chief security officer of the state, Wike visits the state and Wike refused to reach out to the office of the governor. Be very factual. If anything had happened to Wike, would you blame the governor of Edo State, claiming that, we know, say this thing will happen? Obaseki don't go arrange am one or two ways. Now make this thing happen. So we could also recall that sometime in 2017 to 18, if I'm not mistaken, or 2019, the senator representing Edo South, Senator Matthew Rogide, was coming from the airport while we were still in different political divide. Some group of persons removed the cap of Senator Matthew Rogidi in the course of political disagreement. What did people say? Immediately, everyone blamed the governor. There is the governor people, the governor people. So, if anything had happened to Wiki, the governor will be blamed. Okay, now let's take an example. Will anybody do the same in River State? It is impossible. Please, if you have not shared this video, please share. I want us to be logical in our reasoning. Let us forget about the hate or what we have in mind against the person of the governor. Whether you like him, whether you hate him, no. That should not be the basis of our judgment. Let's look at it from the angles. Hello. Let's look at it from the angle that as a governor, no one governor is bigger than the other. Forget the amount of resources that gets to your disposal. We must respect one another. What Wike did yesterday, that very day, sorry, I said yesterday, was a calculated attempt to show to the governor that he is more superior than the governor of Edo State. And if you are clapping, believe me, you are indirectly subjugating yourself to the governor of Rivers State, because I know that Rivers people are great men and women of inestimable value. So we cannot ascribe it to the entire people of Rivers State. But the rogue action of the governor of Rivers State must be ascribed to the governor of Rivers State, because the governor in himself must be ready to take responsibility for his own administrative lacuna. I think that as a people, we must stand to say the truth at all times, regardless of whose horse is gone, regardless of what you feel. Let's tell ourselves the truth and nothing but the truth. It is unfair. It is unfair. I am not here, for those who are just coming in, I'm not here to discuss about how Wike sat on the palace or not. I have withdrew that. But we are condemning the action of Wike. But you may not know now, but certainly in the future you will know. Now, Governor Yenson Wike just want to show to you that your governor is a subordinate. And our governor is not a subordinate. Our governor is not a subordinate. Now, let me tell you, if peradventure the governor of Edo State, let's leave the governor of Edo State of this now, the governor of Delta State is having an issue with Governor Yenson Wike, and because of the fact that the governor of Delta State has an interest to run for an election, and eventually the governor of River State decided to move down, the governor of Delta State decided to move down to River State without informing the governor of River State. And because of the fact that the governor wants to reach out to delegates in River State, on getting to River State, he goes directly to go and meet the delegate after recognizing the traditional institution who we all hold sacred. Now, at the end of the day, Wike may not talk. You will be surprised if there is an attack, if there is an attack, if there is a verbal or whatever as the case may be. Believe me, Wike will not say anything to say. Like even if it was Wike that orchestrated that move, you hear him saying, "Believe me, I was not aware that the governor was around." So we are saying this for the personal security, so that at the end of the day, you will not come and blame the governor of Edo State. So let's be factual. For those who are playing politics with it, do not allow the politics to prevail. Let's tell ourselves the simple truth and nothing but the truth. I, for one, I won't like you learn. Now, for those who understand the political antecedent of Edo, let's go back to the run of 2016 gubernatorial elections in Edo State. Right in Government House, when Oshomole was the governor of Edo State. Oshomole said when Wike was pumping to support Pastor Sageze Yamwasa then in the 2016 run-up, Oshomole said, and I quote, "Governor Wike, you do not know the meaning of Oshomole." The parable Oshomole made as a follow-up was that when the crocodile is in the river, it has power. But when the crocodile is out from the river, it is powerless. That Wike should not take his resolve for granted. If he wants to know who Oshomole is, let Wike come and make noise in Edo State, that he will cut it aside. Did Wike ever come into play? What is happening today is because of the fact that Wike is trying to slight the governor of Edo State. He's trying to slide the governor of Edo State. And why is this happening? I will tell you. We have not gotten the political permutation right. Whether you like it or not, a government is supposed to have mechanism. As we get the concept, land. If it was Shomole, no even fit enter the state. You know fit enter. How you want to enter now? You can't enter. So this one is slight. That's slighting. You dey pay me wey no say that's slighting. Because everybody do am. How you want to enter this thing? You follow Benin Airport, you enter like that. No. But at least nobody go take responsibility for your misbehavior. Nobody will take responsibility. But what is happening now is clear oppression, a clear one. Now let us really go in details in respect to what is causing rancor. First, as I've earlier said yesterday, and I'm reiterating my commitment, I am not saying that the old PDP should be relegated to the background, that they are nobody. After all, they gave us the template for us to ensure that the governor of Edo State emerge under the tutelage of the People Democratic Party. And we are supposed to ensure that in terms of governance, in terms of development, in terms of every activities of government, this same set of people must tag along with the trend. It's a fact. And I do not also believe that they should be relegated to the background in respect to they should as well have access to key infrastructures in government. When I say infrastructure, I'm targeting not physical infrastructure, but I'm targeting political infrastructure. Now, in government, if they don't have control on some political infrastructure in government, and they are holding on to the party political infrastructure, believe you me, certainly they are going to make sure they hold tight what is remaining so that at the end of the day they will not lose in all ramification. So if we must take charge of the structure totality, they must as well have a strong role to play in governance, which is currently going on as we speak. They are having a role, but it's rather unfortunate that there are some selected individuals who have separate interests from the interest of the old PDP. That is the truth. Now, when you ask yourself a simple question, what is the interest of Governor Nyesom Wike in Edo? As I've earlier said before, I'm telling you again, the attack on the governor of Edo State is not about even the political structure by Wike, no. It is about the interest of the vice president. Because it is rumored in different quarters that the possibility for Obaseki to be pinpointed as the running mate to one of the contending and top presidential aspirants in the PDP is what is creating crisis right now by Governor Wike. That was why Governor Wike launched the first onslaught. Now, it is also true that Edo people are angry in respect to the issue relating to land activities in the state in terms of open grazing or what do we have to call that. It's very obvious that some people are not satisfied with the current way at which it is being handled. That is a fact. And I think that the only panacea to do all that is for there to be a steady communication and feedback between the government and the good people of Edo State. We can't hide that fact. The second one is the current killings in our local communities. As far as we are concerned, the world is faced and plagued with war in Ukraine, which have significantly affected the cost of global oil price, the cost of there's high rise in food, consumable goods, as the case may be. People can no longer afford 6 square meal, which is a fact. Which is a fact. It's a global plague, and all these people have decided to hold it to say no. But we know definitely that with our collective resolve, all this can better be addressed. But you also agree to the fact that with this current, let me use the word plague affecting the world, and people who are supposed to cushion the effect by engaging more on agrarian activity have been deprived in their local communities because of the activity, the eviction of the herdsmen, the eviction of some terror group who are wearing the apron string of cattle rearer, as the case may be. We know, and I know that currently there are policy framework and there are instrumentalities put on ground. Now, the only power for the governor to deploy falls within the vigilante structure, which I know that the current formation of the unity prepared to confront this activity is on a very good arrangement. And as well, the police in itself are doing everything humanly possible to stand up. But I think the police are not doing enough. They are not doing enough. Now, if we check some of our core communities, I think we need to reorganize the vigilantes in those areas. Then the police should be coming out with police posts. And I want to advise citizens, if you know you are well to do, please, it happens in Adoawa community. In Adoawa community in Ikubai, an individual, Bensona, built a police station, equipped it, and handed over it to the state police command, which eventually turned it into a division. As we speak today, an individual created that opportunity. This is not to say that we are telling people to take over government's activity as a result of the lukewarm or lackadaisical attitude of the federal government. But I think where necessary, when you think that you are capable enough, you can build a police post. Build a police post in some of these remote communities. If you have the means, if you have the means, you can as well assist with that. Then for those, let me quickly tell you where what vigilante has achieved in the Edo state. Believe me, it is a milestone, a very large one. As we speak today, I think it is not difficult for you to hear that there are court wars in Edo. So some of our problem has been addressed. Now we are moving to the second stage. We are moving to the second stage. The second stage now is if you as well have individual capacity, support the vigilantes in your area. It will help in no small way to address some of these problems that we are facing today in our contemporary urban world. I am pleased to announce to all and sundry that Edo people, we are united in one resolve to curb this challenge. But in spite of this challenge, I know which that I know for sure that this challenge is what is making some person angry. That whenever they are seeing stone coming from east west against the governor of Edo State, they say make him meet am, make him meet am, make him meet am. That is why Wike is getting some support. As I've earlier said yesterday, why you excuse me, hello, Alpha, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Send this number, give him. Send this number, give him. Yeah. Okay. I'll reach her, no wala. All right. So, sorry, it was an important call from my staff. So, wait a minute. So, as I was saying, because of the fact that they are everyone, because of this activity, people are saying, okay, and even if the stone is coming from east, west, north, south, to them it is totally accepted. I will know, but please do not support outsider to destroy us. And also get it clearly. I strongly believe that the likes of Danobi and other can as well better resolve conflict in respect to party activities here within Edo State. We must now no governor will take it. No governor will take it. That somebody somewhere will be deciding a state that I am in charge, even as low as Osahunopodi. I will not take it. I will not take it. And let me tell you the simple truth. I am not against Wike person. I have never talked about the political ambition of any individual. I think every Nigerian reserves the right to have an ambition. But while you are having an ambition, play your politics in line with the existing norm. Do not encroach into the right of other persons. That is the problem we are having. How many of you, even in your family, will allow your younger one or whatsoever to begin to bully over you? You will not allow it. How many of you will want an outsider, a landlord in your street, to begin to decide what your family does in your house? You will not allow it. So if what you think will not be okay for you, please do not do it to the next one. That is why to some of us, the likes of Osakuna Woody, whenever we notice that we are wrong, we quickly apologize because what we cannot tolerate. Bushi, what we cannot tolerate will not allow, will not as well do it to others. Now I pinch myself. I say, I want to go and pinch somebody. When I know that even when I pinch myself, I'm going to pinch myself with care. But if I want to pinch the next man, will I pinch the next man with care? Now I cannot even manage the little pain that I gave to myself. How would the next man feel if I'm pinching the next man? That is the point. So do not play play. Binisi, I have one more than a but here in our context, we don't have one more than. So the truth of the matter is simple. The governor, when it comes to issue of performance, will you dispute it that the governor is not performing? He's performing very extremely well. And for those who try to use projects to mock the governor, when the governor's team deploys the working activities of the government to the world, so nobody is now talking about the work in itself again. Excuse me 1 minute, please. You go carry this motor, call this guy. All the survey who will do, they will tell. Carry and follow body, come with me. Call the number now. If you reach the call on 081, just call am before you come on. Go now. Don't be here, say for call am. You just carry car and go. Take him back, me put you for you. So that is it. By the power of God Almighty, we strongly believe that a wise and sensible Edo man must condemn the actions of Uke. Believe me, that action is totally unacceptable. You will not allow it. You will not allow it. It's unacceptable. Please. You should know that the governor we have in Edo State is the same. The seat of the governor of Edo State is the same as the seat of the governor in Rivers State. Forget your allocation and how much is in your disposal. And I think it is now time for His Excellency Governor Gordon Obaseki to play the real politics. It is time to play the real politics. Play the politics like the politicians. Play it with them. And with the language I have just said now, it is only a politician that will understand this particular statement. Because if you don't play it like politicians, believe me, this nonsense will continue. And to some individuals in government house, you on a daily basis, you organize exhibition, you organize this, you organize that. When there are issues plaguing government, all of you will go and hide. You don't want to have enemies. What you support, what you believe in, you should be able to stand firmly and say, this is what I must stand for. You cannot be seen in the sweet part. Then when it gets to the excruciating part, you are shying away. All of you must be up and doing. Because to me, I have noticed that some of them are not doing enough to really defend what we all collectively fought for. They are using the media to manipulate the public. Let them come out to tell the world what they are fighting the governor for. Let us just know. So if for the governor, if for the whole of Edo people to say, governor, you must apologize and do this thing, fine. You cannot be using propaganda trying to snare the image of the government. Try to snare the image of the government. And you are here talking differently. So we advise all and Sunday to do the needful. I want to say a very big thank you to all our people around the world who express our opinion, and that is what we stand for. Governor Nyesom Wike is totally wrong. His action is condemnable, and we must condemn it in totality. Thank you, and bye for now.
Now we don't hear from Comrade Stanley Osaze Osakwunokwodi, let us know what you think for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things wey dey happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you with this video, make you help us share am. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.